Use the figure below to answer the following questions. Round all answers to 2 decimal places. Enter degree, DEG, after any degree values. So we have a right triangle here. We know the hypotenuse is 31, and then we know one angle is 49. So our first question just says, what's the other angle? What's the measure of angle K? Remember, all the angles in a triangle add to 180. So we're going to subtract the 2 angles that we know to get the remaining angle. So the remaining is 41 degrees, and we would type that in with the DEG. That's the only one that requires degrees. Okay, now we're solving for these side lengths. So we want JL, we'll call that X, and then KL, we'll call that Y. And because we have a side length and an angle, we're going to use trig. We can't use Pythagorean theorem because we only know one side length. So I'm going to label the sides based on this angle. This is the opposite, and this is the adjacent. So let's start there. Let's solve for x. Adjacent and hypotenuse. That would be cosine AH. So cosine of some angle is adjacent over hypotenuse. And let's plug in everything we know. So the angle is 49 degrees. The adjacent side's what we're solving for, and the hypotenuse is 31. So let's get x by itself. Let's get rid of the fraction. Multiply both sides by 31. And that's it. X is by itself. So 31 times cosine of 49 degrees. And we're just going to type that in the calculator. So 31 times functions cosine of 49. And I'm not going to type the degrees. I'm just going to check and make sure I'm in degrees, and I am. So that's 20.34 rounded. And now we're going to solve for KL, which we're calling Y. So now we need the opposite, and we're going to use the adjacent. So opposite, not adjacent. I said adjacent. Hypotenuse. Hypotenuse 31. So opposite and hypotenuse is sine. So we're going to use sine of some angle, which equals the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. And let's just plug in everything we know, just like we did last time. So our angle is 49 degrees. The opposite side is y, and the hypotenuse is 31. So it's the same thing, but now it's sine. So now y is equal to 31 times sine of 49 degrees. Let's type that in. So 31 times sine of 49 degrees. So 23.395. I'm writing this out just for the rounding purposes. So because that is 5, that means we're going to round up. And because that's a 9, we have to even go to the next number. So this changes to 40. So 23.40.